What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the 10-7 MMA show. We are back. Happy Monday, February 23rd, 2026. And we already got John Dong in the mix. He said, I only put a few bucks on Sean. Wish I put more. Ooh, I wonder, John Dong, did you put that money on Sean Strickland because of Justin's phenomenal prediction that he made last week? I was very wrong. On Saturday, luckily not too many people watched the video. I think it got like 22 views, so I'm actually glad for that. But on Saturday, I made a last-minute prediction about that fight, and I predicted that Fluffy Hernandez was going to get the victory. That was mainly because I saw on the Jackson pod Khamzat's boys talking about how they had tapped Sean Strickland out at the PI Center, which I'm sure if Sean hears, he's going to get pretty pissed off. But that was Baisangur, who is Khamzat's protege, talking to another Chechen fighter. So I heard that. They're like, yo, I tapped Sean Strickland out in the PI. I'm like, all right, that's it. I'm going Fluffy. Fluffy's going to tap him out. He's going to submit him, and he's going to get the job done. But I was totally wrong. And I got to tell you, I was happy. I'm happy that I was wrong because, number one, Sean Strickland looked incredible. He looked way better than he did against Dricus in the last fight. He looked fast. He looked sharp. He looked confident with that jab. Josh Thompson was talking on the Weighing In podcast and saying that MMA fighters, for the most part, have not really utilized the jab effectively in mixed martial arts. I'd love to hear Justin's thought on that when he jumps back on. He's just in the bathroom right now, but he basically said that it's a really underutilized weapon, but perhaps one of the best weapons in combat sports and fighting. And Sean does a tremendous job. We always talk, sometimes people kind of clown Sean about jabs and teeps, but that jab, it's a powerful jab that's not just measuring distance, that's not just touching his opponent, but it's actually causing damage. And you could see in the fight that Fluffy was hesitant to run into those jabs. He does a tremendous job. And I think if you ask most boxing coaches, again, boxing is a different sport, but still, they will say the jab is the most important punch, especially if you can get a lot of power and generate a lot of force behind that jab. Sean Strickland did that. He moved around. He stifled Fluffy. And then that one criticism that Fluffy gets, I don't know if it's true or not. Obviously, people are saying it's true because of how this fight went, but they're saying that he's soft to the body. They're saying that he doesn't have enough muscle. They're saying, who knows, right? I don't know what the real deal is. Obviously, Kevin Holland 9 fights ago kneed Fluffy Hernandez and got the victory as a result, or hit him with a body shot. I can't remember what the shot was. Now we're going to see the same thing. We saw Sean hit him with that big knee, and he basically crumbled. And after that, Sean got a finish. And wow, who was guessing that Sean Strickland would actually get a finish in this fight, right? Like, Sean is not really known to get finishes. He's usually more of a decision machine, but he got a finish, and he got a great finish, a great TKO in my opinion. So this sends his stock through the roof in my opinion. Now, as soon as Justin joins us, if you guys don't know, I'm sure you know, but if you don't know, Justin trains out of Extreme Couture. He's a trainer there. He's done his training camps out of there when he fought in the UFC and for any other fights. And so he trains alongside Sean Strickland. He predicted that Sean was going to win this fight. We actually had some video saying, oh yeah, real great prediction. You're obviously unbiased, kind of being sarcastic. But Justin got the prediction right, and Sean looked unbelievable in this fight. All right, Justin, I've been dying to hear your perspective on this fight. Take it away.
It's great. I know we make our guesses, and here's the thing, guys. I'm not saying I'm always right or other podcasts are always right, but we make educated guesses. And when you have some people like, oh, well, when I talked about the pressure that Fluffy was going to try to come forward with his head moving, oh, well, that's what DDP did, and that's what that's how he beat Sean. So obviously Fluffy's going to do. No, DDP and Fluffy aren't similar. They both go forward, but they're not similar. Their tendencies are totally different. So it's comparing apples and oranges. Like, you can't just be. I'm a pressure fighter. I'm not like DDP. I'm a forward pressure fighter. Anthony Hernandez is more like me. DDP sits there, blitzes. All right. Anthony is trying to be calculated. He's trying to be slick. He's moving his head left, right. He covers up a lot, sees shots coming, doesn't take a lot of damage on the chin, because Sean's aiming. DDP on the other hand just goes crazy.
Yeah.
All right. So when you talk about maturity of MMA fans, like, a lot of these people they're idiots. All right. And they're like, oh, because like I said, I've heard it before, even some civilians at the gym, like, oh, well, DDP's pressure dude, it's not even the same pressure, and it's different footwork, it's different punching style, it's different everything. And and I'm also tired of people talking about Sean's wrestling. Like, man, oh, he's not a good wrestler. Like, oh, he got taken down by DDP for the UFC championship. Like, who else is taking him down? I was talking with Ben last night because I watched the fight for the first time last night. And as Ben and I are watching, Fluffy doesn't even come close to taking him down. Everyone's like, oh, he's going to take him down and sub him easily. That was a terrible take. Why do you say that? Like, I see this guy train his wrestling. It was probably your take, wasn't it, in your video?
Yeah.
But here's the thing, what you guys don't know, and it's okay that you don't know, not you or anybody else.
Yeah.
I'm in the gym 6 days a week. I see Sean wrestle at least 2 or 3 days a week against collegiate level guys. I can watch their wrestling exchange and be like, oh shit, this is a high level exchange. And that's the other thing. When Sean does get taken down, he gets back up. Did you turn her on to a mod yet?
Oh, God.
Why don't you do it right now? Because I'll rant for a minute.
Right now. Go.
So people don't understand how good of a wrestler in grappling. I have never visually seen Sean Strickland subbed. Never. Not once by anybody. I've seen him taken down, but I've never seen him held down for a whole round, and I've never seen him subbed. So Anthony Hernandez, who is on an 8-fight win streak, he's put some good fights together, which is great. But just watching him, reviewing him, there was nothing that jumped off the paper at me like, oh, he's going to get Sean this way. There's just no way. I said in the video, Sean was going to have distance management. He was going to use his jab and his teep kick. He didn't use his teep kick as much as I thought he would.
True.
But he used his jab incredibly. Long jab, stuck him over. And just that pop, 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 pop. What? No, it's not mine. It's, what's his name's? Just that pop, 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 that piston jab.
Yes.
Like, although these aren't knockout shots, but they're frustrating shots. And then in the third period or third round, Fluffy's getting peppered up by this jab. He's going to get frustrated. Trust me, I know that frustration feeling. And what you think, because like I said, I feel like me and Fluffy have a similar style. What you think is when you're getting peppered up that you're losing, so you have to go harder. You have to. You heard what's his name? I can't remember who was in the commentating booth, but he specifically said, all right, Fluffy's just going to have to go forward, accept that he's going to get jabbed a couple times and land a big shot. It was, I'm very, very close to an exact quote. All right. It was very close to how he said it. Something about him having to go forward even faster, realize he's going to get jabbed, but get through to land a bigger shot. But Sean was playing off his back foot the whole time. When Sean realized that he's going to go for one of these, he stepped in and threw that beautiful knee. And I think I only watched the fight once, but maybe I think that's the first time in the fight he threw that knee.
I believe so too. I don't think he had thrown it before from my recollection, but I'll tell you this, because I watched the fight live when I got back on Saturday from Vegas when I was hanging with Justin. I was so tired, dude. I actually fell asleep in that for part of the second round. So I can't say for sure. I need to go back and watch the fight in its entirety to say for sure, but I believe, yes, you are correct.
So again, I go back to myself because from my experience, like being a pressure fighter is great, but there's fight IQ, and Sean lured him. He put the bait out there. That's like, hey bitch, hey bitch, hey bitch, hey bitch, hey bitch, keeping him bay. Can't take him down on the fence. Got him to the fence a couple times. Couldn't take him down at all. Sean just shrugged him off like a little baby, and he's not a baby. He's on an 8-fight win streak in the UFC. Sean made him look like a child in the wrestling department, which I'm not surprised at. I know a lot of people are, but nothing about that surprised me. I mean, like his game plan was so obvious. How preparing for Sean is very easy. Doing it is hard. What I mean by that is you got to get by his jab. It's like Jake Shields in grappling. Listen, when you go with Jake, you're going to shoot a double leg. He's going to go for a guillotine. To get out of it, you're going to roll to your back, and then he's going to mount you. Then he's going to smother you, and then he's going to side choke you. And if that doesn't work, then he's going to switch to a Kimura. And if that doesn't work, he's going to do a straight arm lock. That's his sequence, and that's what he does over and over and over. And I'm telling you that. I'm 100% sure if you wrestle Jake Shields, that's what he would do. But can you stop it? I can't. It's fucking crazy. And Sean is the exact same way. He's going to throw his jab. He's going to throw that. He's going to throw his inside leg kick, which he utilized more than I thought he was going to. I thought he was going to go more teep kick, but he threw his inside leg kick, and it didn't really do too much teep kicks. He missed a couple of them, like sliding off. But regardless, his game plan. He's not going to come in and try and trick you. Same thing with Fluffy. Fluffy's going to come forward. And with when I fought Gabriel Benitez, forward fighter. Gabriel did the same exact thing to me. Set me up, jab, cross, little pussy shots. I remember him hitting me. And I remember consciously thinking, like, this guy could never knock me out in a million years. I'm just going to, next time he throws his cross and it hits me or I slip, I'm just going to wing a big shot. And as soon as I wing that big shot, he's like, oh, I took the hook, line, and sinker, boom, snagged me with that beautiful knee right up the middle, hit me right in the body as I came forward. And when you're coming forward like I did or like Fluffy did, the impact is twice as great. And there's just nothing you can do about it. And that's it. Sean put his bait out there, cast his line, got a nibble, boom, through the knee, sank the hook, landed the fish.
And if you were to guess, do you think that was their game plan all along with him and Eric Nixick, that they planned for something exactly like that?
Absolutely, 100%. That's a 100% game plan. Again, it's let's take their names out of it. All right. We have a fighter that fights behind his jab, that peppers you with his jab, and we have a guy that wants to come forward. He's going to get frustrated. He's going to try to get desperate because he lost the first round. He lost the second round, in my opinion. They were close, but I thought Sean was ahead 2-0. All right, well, we got to win this third round. We need to start. Let's go for something. Let's do something great. Let's fucking try and knock this guy's head off. Fucking, it was a perfect trap.
Josh Thompson talked about the underutilization of the jab in mixed martial arts in general. He said the jab is the most important strike that you can throw, and most MMA fighters don't have a good jab. They don't utilize it enough. And Sean is one of the very few fighters, if not the only one, that has truly mastered the jab and not only use it as a weapon, as a measurement, as the different ways that jabs are used, but he also has turned it into a power punch. And you could see that in this fight, Fluffy was hesitant to come into the jab. Sean was actually causing damage, like reasonable damage with that jab. What is your thoughts on Sean, the jab, and the jab being underutilized in general in MMA?
I mean, it's styles. Like, it's something like, for me, it's hard to utilize my jab. You know what I mean? Because I'm so short. I only have a 66.5-inch reach. So every time, I can't just work on a jab like Sean does. When Sean works on his jab, he's standing straight up. He throws his jab. He's on his back foot. He has Sean, he utilizes his range. I don't know what his range is, but he utilizes it to the max. He turns his shoulder. He almost leans into it sometimes. Like, he's fully extended. And personally, like me, I just don't have, anytime I jab at somebody, if I jab at you and you jab at me, your jab's going to land first. You understand? So I can't throw a straight jab. I have to throw a jab offline. So to say that it's very underutilized, yeah, it is. But again, it goes to what your strengths are. My strengths are getting in the pocket. Fluffy's strengths are getting in the pocket and landing big shots. So how can Fluffy go jab for jab with Sean? He just can't. Right. Even if you practice it all the time, it just would never work out.
Western says,
I do. But to get back to the question, yes, it's a very important tool. But again, we have to take the fighter we're talking about into account.
100%. By the way, so Western did say Sean has a 76-inch reach, so that's crazy, and that's pretty wrong. Alex Alberto says that jab won't stop Khamzat from shooting 5 seconds with the speed of a cheetah. We're going to talk about the Khamzat Strickland matchup very shortly, so just hang on to that question. We got a couple other comments I'm going to put up here real quick. Western said he called the fight. John Dong said I wasn't fully convinced on Fluffy because he gets hurt a lot in his fights. But yeah, Justin gave me that extra convincing. He put money on Sean because of you, so let's go. And Western says I'm worried about Josiah Harrell. Andrew Nance says Sean was fighting with Jim. We're going to talk about that in a second too. I got one other question though for you, Justin. We had some criticism, and look, I think it's kind of even unfair that people are saying this because you kind of like people are kind of maybe taking a little bit of steam off of trying to take a little bit of steam away from Strickland in terms of what he accomplished. But I have heard people bring up the question: is Fluffy too small for middleweight? And I know that's a little bit silly to even ask because he's on an 8-fight win streak, but people were saying that maybe he needs to tighten up. He looks a little soft in the midsection and he would have a better time in the welterweight division. Do you have any thoughts on that?
No, I mean, he's on an 8-fight win streak in the UFC. I'll let him make his career decisions, and all you armchair quarterbacks can sit the fuck down and shut the fuck up. That's so stupid. Now, if and don't get me wrong, Sean was way bigger than him. Like, he looked way bigger, but I mean, he was on an 8-fight win streak. Like, right. And he didn't look, it's not like, I mean, Sean won the fight dominantly. But it wasn't like he put him away in the first round and just humiliated him. Like,
right.
I saw some good things. You know, he had Sean up against the fence. And again, when you talk about, I just don't think guys give Sean Strickland enough credit. Like, we're talking about the former UFC champ. Like, he lost to the former UFC champ. Like, this guy is good as fuck. Like, he's one of the best in the division. There's you can't make a decision off that. It's stupid. And maybe he likes to eat. Maybe, you know, and I mean, he did look fluffy, but what's his name? You know?
Yeah, so that's true. It's funny, but you said, I think what you said is exactly right. I think people have written off Sean Strickland, and that's the nature of this game, unfortunately, because people were upset with how Sean fought DDP in the last title fight, and with the criticism that he wasn't listening to Eric Nixick, all that stuff. People have just written off Sean Strickland, kind of like people. But this is MMA, right? Khamzat Chimaev has exciting fight after exciting fight after exciting fight. Every single fight is exciting. Then he has one fight, his last fight against DDP, that people weren't blown away by because he didn't buzzsaw DDP like we thought he would. And everybody's calling him a boring fighter. Like, it's just crazy. And that's just the world of MMA. But it's fantastic that Sean got the victory and that Sean looks so good getting that victory. And Sean's not really a guy that gets a lot of finishes. So the fact that he got a finish, man, I think we have set up the ultimate super fight. But we're going to get to that. We have more to talk about before we get to this amazing super fight. We got a little interesting thing that happened last night. So many things to talk about from the fights on, not last night, sorry, Saturday. Did you see this? Sean Strickland's mic was cut. Okay, I'm not going to play the clip, but again, Sean Strickland sits down, and prior to Sean sitting down, let me give you a little bit more context. Dana White was asked about Sean from Oscar Willis, and he says, look, I know Sean's a little crazy on the mic, but that would never hold you back from putting him into big matchups or anything like that, right? Like, you still want to book him for big fights. And I also think Dana was a little pissed off that Sean beat Fluffy. I really do. I feel like I picked that up for when Dana was talking about the fight and the outcome, because then he also said, he's like, well, yeah, Sean's a nightmare to deal with. He's like, the amount of crap that I have to deal with, the amount of blowback. And people are kind of criticizing Dana White in the UFC because they're like, dude, you're all about free speech. What are you doing? Why are you censoring this guy? And blah, blah. Listen, this is a business at the end of the day. They have to make business decisions when they bring people into the UFC or cut people from the UFC. I'm not saying Sean's going to get cut by any means, but if you're trying to run a business and you're trying to get sponsors and commercials and you're trying to make things pleasant for Paramount, and somebody's going out there and talking negatively about the shows on Paramount, talking about a lot of like homophobic stuff and things like that, yes, that can affect the bottom line of the business. And so, yeah, at some point, like, a company has to draw a line. It's not, you shouldn't be so upset about, oh my God, they're violating his free speech, his amendment rights. It's not about that. It's about cultivating a business that is profitable. So I just wanted to put that out there. Like, people need to think about this from more holistic standpoint, as opposed to, oh my God, he's violating his rights. That's not even violating his rights. It's the UFC. It's their platform. They can do what they want. But anyways, let's get back to this. So that's the preface. Dana White was clearly pissed off and perturbed. And then right after that, Sean sits down, goes crazy once again on the mic, calls Khamzat Chimaev a goat effer. Then he goes on a rant on one of Fluffy Hernandez's coach, Jim, I can't remember his last name, basically calling him out for grooming Aspen Ladd at when she was like 4. Look, and I don't know the story. Okay, I have no idea what the story is, but he said in his mind, he's like, yeah, I didn't even know that was his coach, and I wanted to kill him, and then he said the thing about Chimaev, and then they like, all right, we're done here, and then they cut his mic, and they ended the whole thing. A lot of fans got super pissed about this. Like I said, I have a different perspective because I'm trying to look at it from the business standpoint. I understand why the UFC or Paramount or both have to draw a line. But Justin, I want to take it to you. You're his teammate. You say you love to speak freely as well. I mean, what was your thoughts about this whole ordeal?
You know, Dana White said it best. He said, you guys ask him stupid fucking questions, or was it play stupid games, win stupid fucking prizes? Like,
yeah,
you guys know this guy. You're setting him up for these viral videos for yourself. It's very selfish. It's bad for the UFC. It's bad for Sean Strickland. The media is, I mean, they know what they're doing. You know, even Dana White said it to my buddy Oscar Willis. He goes, you guys know what you're doing. You guys ask him these. You guys ask him about Bad Bunny. Of course, you know what he's gonna say. And it's actually, I mean, it's pretty selfish. And, you know, it just, because it's like these individuals are just trying to look for a viral moment off another guy. And it's going to, like I said, hurt the UFC, and it's going to hurt Sean long-term. They don't give a fuck about Sean. They don't give a fuck about the UFC. They care about getting that one video that And I get it. Trust me, me and Huzefa want a video to get 1 million views too, but to essentially set somebody up for failure to get a little success, little quick success, or a little quick credit makes me sick to my stomach, man, because it just thinks, man, just fuck. Like nobody gives a fuck about anybody. It's just terrible. I don't like it.
So Western says no. They silenced Sean when he spoke about grooming. That's the issue. They let anything else get through. I think you're right. Actually, no, I agree with you, Western. I'm not sure what you're saying no to. Maybe I said something else that you disagreed with. But I agree with you, and I think the reason why they cut him about grooming, but it goes back to the same thing. It's if you're going to say something like that, you're opening yourself up and potentially the UFC and potentially Paramount up to a potential defamation lawsuit. Like that's a big statement to make. And again, I don't know the history of Aspen Ladd and their relationship. I believe they're married now, but I don't know the history. I don't know if he was accused of grooming or if this was a legal charge that Sean's talking about. But if it's not, yeah, it's a problem. And I agree, Western. You're right. Oh, Western, you are pissed off about it. Tell us more. Tell us why you're pissed off, because to me, that's a liability issue. And that was just the UFC covering their base. Like you could say all day long, you want to support free speech, but when you're opening yourself up to a lawsuit because somebody is just like loose at the lips and talk about something random and tangential to the fight, like you got to make a call. In my opinion, you're not going to be like, oh no, I'm going to stick with free speech and let us get sued for like $10 million or whatever the defamation charge could be. Oh, Western clarified. He said they aren't yet married, but that's what I think it was. It was just a business decision. And as much as it might piss fans off, essentially at some point, you have to limit your liabilities. Otherwise, you're doing the entire company and the rest of the fighters a disservice. Western says I'm pissed because young people should. Because I don't know this story. But so Western, you're saying that this is what Sean was saying is legit? Because I don't know. I don't think Justin, you know about the background.
I don't know about them, but I know about Pat Barry and
I know about I've heard about that too. And like I said, I know only on a surface level. I haven't like done any investigative journalism into these issues. But yeah, and you're saying that was wrong. That was the wrong point to limit their life. I mean, I get what you're saying because you want that message out there from your vantage point. I think what they would say is, well, look, dude, that's the point where we had a potential financial liability. We had to limit exposure. By the way, Tehran is in here. Tehran, I was waiting for you to join because I'm trying to add you as a mod right now. And I couldn't remember your entire name. So Tehran Brown 4107. I'm going to add Tehran right now as a moderator because I keep forgetting. Wait, Tehran Brown 4107. It didn't pop up. What? Hold on. Maybe I got to say at Tehran Brown. Let me try it again. It says no matching user found. Well, that's weird. Okay. Well, Tehran, it looks like we have failed here. I'm going to try one more time. Tehran 4107. Wow. It's not working. Okay. I don't know why it's not working, but Tehran, we're going to get you in there soon. Don't worry. Anyways. So that's the situation. His mic was cut. That was the reason. But this is important, okay? And it's important because I made a video last night saying that we are on the precipice of the biggest fight possible. And I say the biggest fight right now, today, but I say arguably the biggest fight in the history of the UFC. Now, hear me out, okay? Hear me out. What's happened right now is the reason why this was such a big win for Sean Strickland is not only did he get the victory, it's not just that, it's how he got the victory. It's how good he looked. It's that Fluffy had no impact in the wrestling department. Do I think it's going to be the same with Khamzat? No, I don't. I think it's a different level of wrestling and grappling, obviously. Like, we all know that. So I don't think it's necessarily means Sean's going to beat Khamzat by any means, but he looked so good. He truly looked like the #1 contender in this division. He really did. Came out there and he got a finish. So this lines it up perfectly. On top of that, bro, Strickland has been going off about Khamzat. I made a video about that, as I mentioned last night, and I showed like just a snippet, just a handful of some of the clips. But Sean Strickland has been going super personal, super dark, talking about everything you can think of with Khamzat Chimaev. Some things that are kind of loosely based in reality, and then a lot of things that are just pure, like, made up. Like, he's saying he's having sex with goats, like, out of nowhere. He's calling him a terrorist, like, just because of his religion, I think. And because I say that because he is also calling Imavov a terrorist. Like, he's just basically lumping together like people of the Islamic faith as terrorists, right? And so he's going off such a deep end in terms of the smack talk. And who's he doing it to? It's not like he's doing it to Jared Cannonier. It's like some random like other middleweight who might get pissed, but these are guys that don't play. It's the same thing that Conor did to Khabib. Khabib and his crew, they don't play. And you look what happened after that fight. It's the same thing with Khamzat. You think Khamzat or his boys are taking kindly to all this smack talk? Like, it's going to have consequences. It's going to have repercussions. We have a real, deep-seated beef here. Like, this is no playtime. This is just like the Conor versus Khabib thing, but the sport is at a way bigger place right now. Khamzat, in my opinion, I argue, is the biggest star in the UFC. You want to disagree with that? That's fine. But if this fight gets made, it's going to be over with. This will shoot him to the moon. So we are on the precipice, in my opinion. Once we get to the buildup and once you see really the venom spewing, and you're going to see these guys are going to have to be separated. Khamzat's team is going to be looking to take Sean out before the fight. So there's going to be a lot of security. It's going to be crazy. So this is the biggest fight to make. Now, why is the mic cut important? This fight could literally headline the White House card. It's that big. And as I mentioned, you may disagree with me, but I'm telling you, if this fight gets made, you will see that I'm correct. There will be no fight that will be talked about more this year other than this fight. But the one thing that is holding it back is Sean Strickland's mouth. Like, obviously that's created this opportunity, but it's also going to be an issue because Dana White and Paramount are pissed. So are they willing to risk putting somebody like Sean Strickland on the White House card when he can say all of the crazy inflammatory things that he has a tendency to say? Can they keep him under wraps? So that's the issue, and that's why the mic cut is relevant. But anyways, we got a lot to ask Justin here. So Justin, first and foremost, let me turn it over to you. Give me your thoughts. I know Sean's your teammate. I know you kind of laughed when I said this could be the biggest fight of all time, but where do you sit in terms of the magnitude of Sean Strickland versus Khamzat for the belt?
I think it's a great fight. To say the biggest fight of all time is a little odd. I mean, there's nothing bigger than Conor McGregor and Khabib. No matter what this beef is between Strickland and Khamzat, will never be that. This is the Walmart version of that, in my opinion. Which, hey, it's still good. I go to Walmart. I'm still going to watch it. It's going to be great. It's going to be a good buildup. I'm excited about this. Sean, yeah, he talked his way into it, but you have to know as well, Sean has said openly he doesn't want to fight on the White House card because of the people that are going to be in attendance. So I'm sure with enough money and sure enough Dana White convincing, he'll change his mind. But as of now, he's openly said he doesn't want to.
Do you really believe that, though?
Yes and no. I mean, the reason he said, here's the thing. I listened to a Candace Owen podcast, and they asked if, you support Donald Trump anymore. And she said, absolutely not. A, B, and C, why. All right. I'm not going to say why. You guys know why. We can't say our stuff will get banned. But Sean said the same thing about our president as well, that he is A, B, C, D. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, that's something that if I felt that strongly for as I actually do, that's something I might take in consideration. And Sean might take that in consideration too. Can you imagine? Like, I don't know, man. I'd see the press conference going crazy, and he's saying something about the president on a UFC broadcast. I mean, he'd probably be advised not to, but it's not out of the realm of possibility. You catch this guy in the right mood, and he'll say something about the president at the White House, So, like, is Dana White willing to risk that?
That's a good point. Okay, so do you think that if they don't do it at the White House, they'll still make the fight, let's say in May, let's say in July? Like, do you think that the UFC is like, yes, we have to make this fight? Or do you think they don't want to give Sean the shine, the rub?
I sure hope that they do. This is the fight I want to see. I mean, DDP was just beaten up so bad. I mean, who else is in the running for it? I mean, he just beat a guy in an 8-fight. He's Imavov. Yeah, Imavov is tough, but I don't care about that fight. Like, that doesn't – he has a good left hook, and Khamzat will just take him down and beat him. Like, Sean works on his wrestling weekly, even when he's not – I mean, think about it. He got suspended from Tough Enough and this and that. It's been over a year. You think he took a year off or 6 months off or 3 months off or a month off? He trained the whole year. He trains the exact same all the time. You know what I mean? He got so much better. I actually think that suspension probably worked out for him.
Yeah.
Because instead of taking another fight, he was able to double down on a training camp, a whole year training camp, to come back and make a guy on an 8-fight win streak look like a bum.
Yeah.
and finish him.
Yeah, crazy. And Sean doesn't that's not necessarily his game plan to get those finishes, but he saw the opportunity and he went for it. It's also pretty interesting in this the matchup between Sean and Khamzat. Now that we did get to see that wrestling defense on display, I mean, it's a very, very fascinating fight. Plus, we have the beef. Plus, Sean is legit right now. I think Sean's got the best argument to be next because, as I mentioned, Imavov. Guess who beat Imavov? Sean Strickland. So it's kind of one of these situations where it's the perfect storm. We have everything there. The one thing that will hold this fight back, the one potential thing, is Sean's mouth and the crazy stuff that he'll say and how that could impact the UFC, the United States, and ultimately Paramount. So that's the one thing. But this is the only fight I want. This is the fight I want this year. If this fight happens this year, 2020, I'm telling you, dog, 2026 is a success. This is all we need. This is it. So I pray that they make this fight. It is huge. It is 1,000 times more interesting to me than Khamzat versus Imavov. Obviously, I'll watch Khamzat fight anybody. But a Khamzat versus Strickland, that's the fight to make, in my opinion. We got a couple comments I want to highlight. Andrew Nance says, Sean was locked in. You could tell. Tehran is laughing at the Walmart version comment. Tehran, I'm trying to add you as a mod right now, and it's not working. I don't know what's going on. Your name is not popping up when I try to enter you into the thing. So I don't know. I'm going to have to figure that out in a little bit later. Maybe your name that is displayed is different from your actual username. And if so, let me know what that is. John Dong says, why wasn't Michel Pereira able to finish Fluffy? Was it only because Michel gassed? I noticed that Strickland was holding Fluffy's head and throwing uppercuts. Could Michel have done the same and won? Possibly. So I watched the end of that fight. I don't know if Justin, if you remember, I watched the end of that fight, and I think that's exactly what happened. Is that Michel Pereira did gas, and he gassed massively. I think he gassed on like round 1, if I remember correctly. But Justin, do you remember that fight?
I don't remember it. I never seen it.
Yeah, so that's my recollection, but I definitely could be wrong. Andrew Nance gives this funny emoji. I'm not sure what that's referring to. I'm going to delete that. Don't worry. You're going to delete what? Wait, I think I'm not sure. Tell me what you're deleting there, Western. Andrew does this. Wait, what? What are all these? What is all this? Did somebody post something in here that was crazy? Okay, I don't know what somebody posted, but everybody's got that emoji of like looking through the fingers. As you're looking at something bad. Okay, you guys are forgetting about Izzy and Joe, the winner of that fight. I mean, they could get but like what? You think the winner of Izzy and Joe Pfeiffer is going to go for the title? I don't think so. They'd have to get one more win. Joe Pfeiffer is like ranked 15th or something like that, and Izzy is dropped in the rankings. Nah, no way, dude. The fight's there after Ramadan. They're going to make a fight, and it's going to be either Sean or Imavov, but I think it's going to be Sean. Can't count out Leon Edwards. Like, the guy did some amazing stuff. But yeah, I mean, I think it'd be a great fight. Puna Heli. I mispronounced that. Thank you, Western. If I was a fighter, homework says I would strive to be on this lackluster cards, so you have a higher chance of getting 100K. Interesting. That's a fascinating point, right? You try and get, well, I mean, but everybody's always trying to get a good matchup and get a good highlight reel. But I see what you're saying. Look at that. Look who's a moderator now. Thank you, Louisa. Tehran is a moderator. I would like for the UFC to go back to the sponsored shorts. I like those better than current shorts, and it gave fighters more personality. Yeah, that'd be cool. I know Ariel talks about that all the time. Tehran on the squad. Woo! Okay, we are here. Now we got another fighter. I don't believe Justin saw this either, but we got another rising star in the UFC, 2 rising stars. I'm going to look up his Wikipedia right now, but Jacobe Smith, this guy, man, holy smokes, gets a first-round finish. Oh, I think this is who I was remembering with the first-round finish in under 3 minutes. This is Jacobe Smith. Dude, this guy is a freaking tank. Let me just show you a picture of this guy. He is jacked out of his mind and a very well-rounded fighter. Hold on, let me show you, Justin, so you can take a peep here.
What weight class?
This is Jacobe Smith. Welterweight. Wait, hold on. I got to remember. Was it welterweight that he was fighting? Yeah, welterweight. And this is who he beat.
From Oklahoma, right?
Yeah, so he's a wrestler, but he said something very interesting. Here, let me pull up his Wikipedia here. He's super athletic. And that's not Jacobe Smith. What's going on? Okay, here we go. Whatever. We'll just go to Tapology. He's super athletic. I do believe he has a wrestling background, and he did get that bonus, but he said that his plan was not to use his wrestling in that fight, but ultimately he ended up having to take the guy down and then finishing. I think it was a pretty brutal ground and pound. I'm blanking now. I can't remember the exact nature of the finish. Hold on, let's see. UFC Fight Night. Yeah, strikes from side control. Yeah, it was ground and pound. So he had brutal strikes from the ground and pound. Josiah Harrell got beaten very badly, and he was knocked out for a while. Apparently, I saw some report that Josiah Harrell had like brain surgery or something before this fight, and then he took like massive head trauma. So I think folks are kind of worried about him. But either way, Jacobe Smith came out there and did an amazing job. Justin, what does this say? Like, I know you haven't seen the fight and you haven't really checked this guy out too much, but he's 30 years of age, has this great wrestling background, comes out with incredible athleticism. Is there anything that you can comment on in terms of the efficiency or the effectiveness of having a great wrestling base and that transitioning and being utilized in the sport of mixed martial arts?
I mean, absolutely. I mean, we're talking about Oklahoma State, one of the best wrestling franchises in the country. Talk about that work ethic. Talk about all the things he's had to persevere through his college career, wrestling the best guys in the world. Like it's such an easy transition over to MMA. And when you're that athletic and you're that explosive, I'm sure he has incredible footwork. It's going to be a great transition. I mean, he's already 12-0. I think he's finished everybody. What I would recommend to him is don't get away from his wrestling. Don't become a striker, man. Use your striking to set up your wrestling because it could become detrimental because he'll start trying to strike with everybody. I mean, dude, every time I was fighting the UFC, this guy's a great striker. Instead of thinking like, oh, how am I going to take him down? It'd be like, no, I'm going to show him how good of a striker I am. You know what I mean? And my ego would get in the way and cost me a couple losses there where I could have just stuck with my wrestling. You look at Gray Maynard, Frankie Edgar. You know, prior to fighting Frankie, he was taking everybody down, beating them up, winning decisions. And then all of a sudden he started working with Gilbert Martinez, which is the boxing coach in Las Vegas, famous boxing coach that worked with all the UFC fighters at our gym. He became a boxer and he stopped wrestling and he just started getting knocked out over and over. So to go back to the point, he has an incredible opportunity here. Let's just not get away from his wrestling.
Jacobe Smith, we're going to take a look real quick at his record. You mentioned the finishes. So yes, we can look at this record. Look, round one, just like KOing people. Oh, well, ground and pound. Sorry. Round one punches. There's that two lone decisions. Round one punches. Holy smokes. Fury FC. And I mean, that's a good organization. Then he got the Contender Series, ground and pound, round two, left hook, nice little submission in there, rear naked choke in round two against Nico Price, who's no joke. Remember his fight against Cowboy Cerrone back in the day. And then we got strikes from side control against Josiah Harrell. This guy is a finishing machine. Very exciting in my opinion, the most exciting division right now in the welterweight division. So this guy is a big star to keep on the radar, and we shall see. I'm very much looking forward to his next fight and his next competition. We got a couple more comments, and then we're going to get into the next topic. Conor McGregor back in headlines. Tehran says yes. Western says Tehran on the squad. Can you show a clip of the finish? I don't think so. I don't think I'm going to be able to. I think if I do, this video will get demonetized. Roll up, Andrew Nance says. Western says, Kerry Hatley, the ref, is sus. You watched Jalen Turner. Yeah, it was a lot of people were mad about the late finish. I mean, he did try. Look, it wasn't the greatest finish or the greatest stoppage. I didn't think it was like the absolute worst stoppage. He ran in there and he tried to get Jacobe Smith off him. Jacobe was like not listening at first and he kept pounding away and then he had to push him off. I mean, like, he did what he could. Look, it's always going to be, you know how hard it is probably for these refs to get the perfect stop. People criticize late. People criticize early. Like, you got to be what's the threshold? Like, I don't think it was that late. It was not like the Jalen Turner Bobby Green stoppage. It was not like that at all. Where Bobby Green took like 20 shots after he was completely unconscious. This was different, but it is what it is. People are going to complain, I guess. Colby Smith looks small for welterweight. I would not mind him at 155. Are you talking about? Wait, who are you talking about? Colby Smith. Okay, I'm not sure. Jacoby. Yeah, there you go. Jacoby, yes. He called out. Oh, yeah, that's right. He called out Kevin Holland, too, and Kevin Holland was in the audience. I thought that was a really cool call out, really good fight for him trying to move into the top 15. Jacoby Rex Holland, yeah, probably with his wrestling base. I would agree with that. And Tehran says, I'm picking Charles to beat Holloway. We're going to talk about that in a moment. But let's talk about what Conor McGregor just said. Now, here's the story.
Jesus.
Conor McGregor said that he's been given a no-name opponent. Michael Chandler's been taken off the table. Jorge Masvidal's been taken off the table. Dustin Poirier.
Can I stop you for a second? Thank you so much for taking Michael Chandler off the table. My God. I'm so sick of talking about it. I'm sick of thinking about it. I don't want to mention it again. It's never going to happen. The battle of the losers is never going to happen. Thank God.
Man, I wanted that fight because I want to see Conor win. I thought Conor, but it looks like that's off the table. And it looks like the UFC, the rumors are that they're setting Conor up to fight Carlos Prates. Now, if this is true, this is a very, 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 very interesting matchup. Number one, it's going to be an amazing striking battle. That's for sure. Number two, I mean, do you think Conor's going to beat Carlos Prates?
I don't. That's why. Like, why would you take the biggest superstar in the history of the sport and set him up against a guy that's going to knock his head off? Like, Conor hasn't fought in like 10 years. Like, Carlos Prates he hasn't. I mean, I think he won his last fight and he lost his fight before that, but he's active. He's ready to go. He's hungry. Like, man, it's crazy.
I think Carlos Prates. Wait, isn't he on?
Is this a fact or is this a rumor? Tehran, let us know.
It's not fact. It's not fact. It's still a rumor. So this is just all been rumored. But hold on, I just want to double check something because I think he won his last two fights, not last fight. But here's the thing. So you said why he's gonna get his head knocked off. Yeah, he beat Jeff Neal and Leon Edwards. He's gonna get his head knocked off. I agree. So the question is why? Why does the UFC want this fight? I thought that they wanted Conor to get a victory. I thought that they still wanted Conor in the promotion doing things. I don't think they want that anymore because if they did, they would set him up against Michael Chandler, and they're not. They're putting him up against a very active striker, a killer in the division. So that leads us to the next talking point. I think the UFC wants Conor to lose. I thought, look, they never want their fighters to go out on a win, but I thought they were going to set Conor up to get a victory at the White House card and then set him up maybe to lose, set him up to get a crazy opponent, but they're doing it now. And he's got 2 fights left on his contract. So to me, I think they're trying to immediately transfer some of his aura to an up-and-coming star like Carlos Prates and then start to bury Conor so when he goes off to bare knuckle, there's going to be a little less steam, a little less flash to his name. Do you agree? Does you feel like this is exactly the UFC's playbook right now?
I don't think so. I think Conor's done too much for him. I still think he's too valuable to just write him off like that. I just don't think this is going to be the opponent. The only opponent to make, this is it's an interesting fight, old school versus new school. They can sell it like that. If the UFC doesn't want him to go out on a win, this would be the fight to do it. Because it's going to shoot Carlos Prates into the stratosphere, basically.
Yes.
With that being said, Carlos Prates will never be as big as a superstar as Conor McGregor ever.
No, I agree. He won't be. The three biggest potential superstars right now are Khamzat Chimaev, Ilia Topuria, and Islam Makhachev. Those are the 3 guys. I would have said Patty if he would have gotten that victory. But those are the 3 that have the biggest potential. Unfortunately, it's not Carlos Prates. But Carlos Prates is a great fighter, and he's a fun fighter. He can be a star. I just don't think a megastar. But we got a lot of people. First of all, Andrew's telling Chandler to retire. I still want to see Chandler fight. Western says this fight ain't going to happen. I think he's talking about he doesn't think Prates versus Conor is going to happen. You're saying there's no heat in that fight. Interesting. I could still see it though for the aforementioned reasons. Tehran says yes, it's a rumor, not factual. And Tehran also does not think it's going to happen.
I don't think it does either.
Andrew said Conor versus Colby. No, I think that was shot down. Somebody, Dana White or somebody. Dude, I think they're going to make Colby versus Bo Nickel.
Yeah, I think I saw that.
Bro, I got to make a video. I'm so I will be so happy if they make that fight. Finally, like, dude, think about all the people that Colby's talked smack about, and then he just never fights them, and he, like, kind of avoids them. He also did that to Ian Gary as well, and he just never fought him. And Bo Nickel said, he's like, the only way that I'll be able to fight Colby is if the UFC forces him. And I was like, I think the UFC's going to force it, and they're doing it. That's what Bo Nickel's last tweet and text was. So, dude, I think it's going to happen. I think it's going to be so great. Finally, like, Colby talks so much about Bo Nickel. Dude, how's Colby going to beat Bo Nickel? How's he going to use his wrestling against it?
I don't think so. I just don't think it happens. I think he gets smashed.
I think he's going to get smashed. And look, I'm never trying to, like, root for a fighter to get smashed, but it's just
I'll root for a fighter to get smashed.
It's just justice. Let's put it that way. He talked a lot of smack about Bo, and then he tried to avoid him. Like, why are you going to talk all that smack if you're not going to fight the guy? Like, it doesn't make sense. So I think it's fair. I think it's fitting. But I digress. Okay, let's go through a couple more comments. I love that one, Nance. I don't love Conor versus Colby. That's so cringe. Colby is like, Conor's the real smack talker. Then Colby's kind of like the fake one, it's putting on it. Like, it's not. No, it's so lame. I don't like it. McGregor Masvidal would be better. I love that fight too, but I don't think the UFC's doing it. I think they want Conor to get smashed. Hell yeah, WMC at White House. Yeah. So people really want Conor versus Kobe. Bo Nickel slimes Kobe. I don't understand, get that slime reference. Okay, last topic. We are coming up here March 7th. This is the same weekend. Justin and I will be in Montana in just over under 2 weeks. We're going to be in Montana commentating, so we're not going to get to see this. Actually, we'll see the main event live probably, but we're going to be unfortunately missing the entire card. But we are just less than 2 weeks away. Max Holloway versus Charles Oliveira. Of course, Justin will eventually break down the fights, break down the fight styles, and really give us good analysis in terms of how he thinks the fight's going to unfold. But I'm going to give my early prediction, even though this is not necessarily the best outcome for Arman Tsarukyan. But I believe, I kind of want Max to win because I think it's good for Arman. But I believe Charles is going to get the job done. I think he's just a much more well-rounded fighter, and I think he's a better fighter. I hate to say it. Justin, what's your thoughts on this fight?
I can't go against Max Holloway here. Oliveira takes too much damage. I think Max is going to outbox him. I don't think there's going to be any grappling exchanges. I think when and if Max drops him, he's not going to engage in wrestling. He's going to wave him back up, and he's going to try to knock him out to where he's fully unconscious. He's not going to engage in any wrestling or ground and pound here.
Well, I think so too, but I think that's going to be Charles's secret weapon. If you remember against, I think like Michael Chandler and even some other fighters, didn't work with Islam, but I think when Dustin Poirier knocked him backwards on his back, he just stayed there and he said, all right, I'm just going to chill for a second. You knock me out. Let me collect my wits, and you can come down to my guard if you want, but they don't, right? They don't jump on him because they're afraid of the submission threat. They're afraid of the jiu-jitsu threat. So what is Max going to do? Even if he knocks him down, it's going to be a similar thing. Is he going to be willing to go down and engage that ground and pound? So that means, yes, Oliveira will get hit a lot, but he's going to have that automatic reset of his like battery meter, of his life meter, where he can go back up because he can just chill on the ground on his back until he can reset, get back up, and then exchange and throw down. I mean, what do you think about that?
I'm going to disagree because if you have to get right back up once I wave you up. Now, if Max hangs out, maybe Max wants to take a break too. And how many times can he get dropped before he's fully out? That's another thing taken into consideration. And yeah, if Max is worried about, he can drop him, look at the ref, wave him up, get up, tell him to get up, tell him to get up. He has to get up right there. I mean, it can be as short as 2 or 3 seconds if Max wants it to be. So we got to take that into consideration too. We don't know if he's just going to let him lay there for the full recovery or make the ref stand him up.
Let's forget about boxing for a second. Who's got better kicks and better knees and better elbows? Kind of like the Muay Thai elements.
Probably Oliveira.
That's what I think too. Yeah, that's what I think too. I think Max may have superior strict boxing. I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel, well, we shall see, but that's what's going to make it fun. Who are you rooting for?
I'm not rooting for either of them. I love both of these guys. I'm just going to watch the fight and enjoy it, how it goes.
Yeah, it's kind of tough, right? When both fighters are so beloved, who to root for. And the thing is, this is the funny thing and the kind of the cool thing about watching these types of fights. You think you're rooting for one person. I don't know if this happens to other people. You think you're rooting for one person, then the fight begins, and then you're all of a sudden like you're cheering for the other guy. You don't even know why, like something that they did, or you're like, oh man, I kind of want them to win now, and then it flips. Like I think that could easily happen in this fight. But the only reason why I think it would be cool if Max wins is if Max wins, he'll be the BMF title or continue to hold the BMF title. And it could be a great fight for Arman Tsarukyan while he's waiting for the winner of Justin Gaethje versus Ilia Topuria. And I think Arman would take that fight. So that would be a really, really fun fight. Like if Oliveira wins, Arman already beat Oliveira, so it's not as interesting. So that's my selfish reason for wanting Max Holloway to win, even though my brain tells me Charles Oliveira is going to get it done. All right, boys and girls and everybody, thank you so much for joining. We've been having more and more people attend our live streams. Like, it makes it so much more fun. But, of course, it was always good in the good old days when it was just me, Tehran, Justin, and Western. And Celine. Yeah, where's Celine? Western, you said that earlier in the comments. You're like, where's Celine? That's a good question. It's always been fun, but yeah, now we get more people in the mix. It's even more fun. We got more people to the 10-7 MMA family. So thank you guys so much for joining. And last but not least, we're going to drop another video. Justin's making a gloating video about his prediction for Strong.
Done.
Yeah, so that's going to go out later today. I also made a funny video about Michael Bisping becoming Ariel Helwani, if you guys want to check it out. And last night I made a huge video, like a 30-minute video about why we need Sean Strickland versus Khamzat Chimaev. Make sure to check out all that stuff. And if you guys haven't subscribed, you're welcome to, because we're making videos every day, minimum one video every day. We got tons of content to crank out, tons of things to talk about in this sport as it's growing so tremendously quickly now. That's all we got for you guys today. Thank you so much for joining, and we'll see you in the next episode. Take it easy.